Hello everyone, I'm Elena Georgiou. Welcome to my channel and the first episode of Trauma Recovery. So I will talk about the root of childhood trauma and how it affects us as adults today and ways to heal from it. I will also talk about the deeper emotional spiritual healing process I provide, and Nicole will talk about emotional freedom techniques she provides. So we will have much to discuss in the first episode of Trauma Recovery. Welcome, Nicole, and thank you for being here.
Hi, Elena. It's lovely to be here, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Great. So I will just start right away then. So if you experience childhood trauma, it might surprise you now that the traumatic problems you had when you were little are still present in your life today. So let's say you have told yourself that it's all in the past, whatever happened and traumatized you, and you have moved on. Isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. When traumatized as a child, it lives deep inside of you, it settles in your bones, and unfortunately, it stays unresolved if you don't seek help to heal it. That's why you might find yourselves in relationships that remind you of those that traumatized you. So we usually choose our partner to our unresolved trauma to be able to face it and heal. And if the patterns continue, you need to resolve whatever it is, and it will continue until you learn the lesson. It's the kind of patterns that reminds us of what happened in the past to confront our unresolved issues and gain control of something we didn't have control over as a child. And as a child, if you have witnessed domestic abuse, based on the theory of learning, children, especially boys who have experienced violence, learn that domestic violence is an excellent way to handle life's problems. Also, girls discover the role of being the victim of violence because of the violent episodes they have experienced. In addition, girls may attract or seek violent men. And this goes on from generation to generation because we carry memories in our subconscious. So maybe your parents were traumatized as children. There is such thing called transgenerational trauma. Their unresolved trauma was carried out to their children, and children can pick up unresolved trauma and be affected. And childhood trauma can affect us as adults if it stays unresolved. And our traumatized child will still live inside of us if we don't face it and heal. So if you haven't had the right therapy, you still carry this trauma and your inner child suffers. Unfortunately, unhealed trauma can make you experience all sorts of feelings. And trauma causes us to disconnect from our true selves and others. We stop the trauma memories to lower fear, anxiety, and shame. But we must return to ourselves, center ourselves, and regain control and responsibility for our lives to heal. So we have to look at what's behind the trigger, recognize it, and the way we react to it. In other words, find the pattern, acknowledge the what and why this is happening, accept, forgive, and move on. In addition to all that I have said, I will now explain the ancestral traumas and the connection to childhood trauma in adults because there is a connection. The ancestral traumas are their unworked legacy of those who have died, and this might include unresolved life stories, secrets, resentments that never had the chance to heal. And healing is releasing inherited wounds and traumas passed down by our ancestors. But unfortunately, we carry their wounds, so we must acknowledge trauma and change things for future generations. So our parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents have experienced wounds similar to the ones we have now. So as a result, we have inherited distinctive patterns of behaviors, knowledge, images, thought process, memories, and experiences. In addition, trauma can leave a chemical mark on persons' genes, which can be passed down to future generations. So healing, take the necessary steps to address past trauma, and rewriting a new story will help you break free from the negative expectations assigned to you. In addition, due to our upbringing and the socialization received, some of us were traumatized due to this. An example is that some women tolerate abuse, and this situation of female passivity is based on the theory of acquired weaknesses of the woman. So this is because they grew up in a family where all members downgraded them because they were girls, and fear and shame keep them stuck to prevent making the right decisions. And once a woman believes she's weak, perception becomes a reality, and she becomes passive, obedient, and weak. This perception keeps them stuck and unable to escape from their abuse. Furthermore, in a patriarchal society, girls and boys are socialized based on some standards that are followed and learned. For example, girls are socialized to be obedient and dependent, unlike boys who grew up in an environment that promotes their superiority because of their physical strength. And boys in this society are not allowed to cry or be vulnerable. So people may understand their trauma, but their feelings need to emerge in treatment to get results. So avoiding talking and reviewing events with family or friends is best because they're not the right way to heal it. It's the opposite of preventing it or blaming your abusers. And this does not seem to help people very much because if you don't heal, it will come back and haunt you again in another season with different people and situations. So if the trauma is left untreated, one can experience nightmares, insomnia, anxiety, depression, phobias, irritability, or hopelessness. So the good news is that there are many ways to heal, either from generational curses or childhood trauma, and heal your inner child. I use a combination of therapies. I'm not a supporter of quick fixes because I realize that trauma, from my experience and expertise as a traumatized child, needs a more profound, deep spiritual healing and process. I provide a deeper emotional spiritual healing process that can help you deal with your emotional issues and find new ways to work out your problems in a new light of understanding. So this process acknowledges, allows, accepts, and processes painful life experience and strong emotions. CBT, shadow integration, subconscious reprogramming, meditation to heal your inner child, therapeutic journaling, and letter writing therapy are part of this process. And my book on Amazon, Live Life to its Fullest and Never Look Back, can also help you in this process. So I will explain about the benefits of CBT that will help you gain a better understanding of your behavior and the motivations of others. And this can help you in trauma recovery. It can change your perceptions and thoughts, reactions, and behavior. So by learning to recognize your negative thinking that is creating problems in your current life, and then evaluating your thinking patterns in a new light of understanding, you will gain more clarity of what you really want in life from now on. So you will be able to stop all your emotional pains and stop these pains in your subconscious thoughts that become a belief system built on pain and fear and replace them with joy and happiness. Shadow integration will help you embrace the part of yourself that you have suppressed or shamed, embrace, love the shadow aspects of yourself that you dislike, and connect with your authentic essence and pure nature for peace, stillness, and truth. It will open up a new world of understanding towards yourself and others. Heal, find peace, gain confidence, wholeness, and authenticity. Find your purpose and passion, service, and mission. So we will review together your trigger events, childhood and family tree, and see if we can find patterns that you need to break away from and free yourself from negative expectations assigned to you or patterns you learned when you were a child and you need to let go of today. Subconscious reprogramming will help you gain absolute clarity on what you want. You can reprogram your subconscious mind by shifting the energy and thoughts you want to attract into your lives. So I provide creation lists, a set of affirmation to help you attract the life you always dreamed about. Letter writing is writing a letter to the people that hurt you without sending it, wishing them well and expressing how they make you feel is a way to heal. Excuse me. And then burning this letter to let go and free yourselves. Another process I use for healing is therapeutic journaling. It's writing down our thoughts and feelings about our experiences. And this private reflection allows us to sort through events and problems we may struggle with. And journaling allows us to release emotions, stress, anger, pain, and work out all these toxic feelings towards life or others. So releasing on paper stuff off your chest without saying the wrong thing into someone's face is best and the best thing that you can do. So instead of carrying that baggage in our heads or hearts, we put it on paper. That is what therapeutic journaling is all about, to deal with specific, upsetting, stressful, or traumatic life events. And I can teach you how to use the 7 journals that can improve your life in many ways, and with specific questions to ask yourself to gain more clarity. So if our viewers are having a hard time dealing with trauma recovery, I'm here to support you, help you face the pain and heal. And as I already said, I'm not a supporter of quick fixes. I am more into providing a deeper emotional spiritual healing process that can help you in trauma recovery. So back to you, Nicole, to tell us all about the emotional freedom technique you provide and the benefits of this practice.
Thank you, Elena. I would just like to tell you first a little bit about myself. I am a mom of 2 sons, and it was actually after my first son was born when I suddenly realized that I was turning into my mom, and I was reacting to him the same way my mom did with me, which I hated, and that I started to think that there has to be a different way of parenting. And I was very fortunate then to come across this technique and able to apply it to myself and put myself in a different space and be able to react from my instincts as my child's mom, and not from things that I had been taught as a child. I've had now 25 years experience in educating children. I realized while teaching children, both other children and my own children, that a lot of what the child's self-view about himself, how important a role it played in his life. It was basically, I could see a child being very well prepared to take a test, to take an exam, but because he didn't believe that he could do it, did not do well in the exam. And I started to realize the very importance of being able to build up self-esteem in children, and realize that the only difference between achieving something and not achieving something is actually just the belief that I can or I can't. I then, once I was using emotional freedom technique on myself and then on my students, I decided to become a professional in this because I saw such wonderful results from it. And I became an accredited certified emotional freedom technique practitioner. Today, I mentor students, I mentor parents, and in general, I support people to live the lives that they would truly love to have, and I help them achieve their goals and their dreams and to show them what is possible for them using all my techniques and being there to support them. So I'd just like to tell you a little bit more about emotional freedom technique. Many people might not know what it is. It's just a combination of Chinese acupressure and modern day psychology. It works by gently tapping with your fingers on certain meridian or energy points in the body, whilst telling the body what is making us upset at the time. By doing this, our nervous system is able to calm down, and we get taken out of that fight or flight mode, and we move out of the problem and into solution mode. And in that way, we can take back control of our lives. I really, really like emotional freedom technique because it's a holistic approach to healing. It emphasizes the connection between the mind and the body. It recognizes the emotional and that emotions and physical health are actually interconnected, and it works to restore balance in the body's energy system. It can be done without medication or medical procedures. It's just basically you and tapping on the meridian points. And this makes it such a safe and accessible treatment option for many people. It can be easily learned and practiced by anyone. And it's an amazing tool for managing our emotional and our physical distress. And in that way, as individuals, we can take back charge of our own emotional and physical well-being. We can be in any circumstance, anywhere, and anything that triggers us or upsets us, we can just quietly tap on ourselves and immediately calm down until we're able to go and address the issues in more depth. It's got a lot of evidence today. There is a lovely lady called Dr. Peter Stapleton. She's based in Australia, and she is doing absolutely amazing work on the science behind tapping. And it's been proven as a real effective technique to reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic pain, and obviously also helping us heal the trauma that we suffered in childhood, helping us heal our inner child. We use tapping in a way to do something like a matrix reprinting of events that happened, and so that we are no longer triggered by them today. It can be used alongside conventional medical treatments. Don't think that we're just going to tap and then everything's going to be fine. We can have a problem or a symptom that actually needs medical treatment. And by doing the tapping, though, we don't have to be caught up in the anxiety and the worry about it. And by calming down that nervous system, we are probably able to find the right doctor for us. And it's really, really gaining popularity today in supporting cancer victims as well, and helping them through their healing journey.
So does it provide instant relief? Because when you're in a state of fear and you start tapping,
in that moment, it does. It can calm down your nervous system. And within just a few rounds, what we call them rounds of tapping, we start here and we go through all the meridian points, and then we stop at the top of our head. And that's what's called a round of tapping. And whilst doing it, you can actually feel your body calming down. Your heart rate starts to slow down again. And as you know, Elena, when we go into fight or flight, all the blood from our frontal cortex of our brain leaves it to go into our body so that we can fight that tiger in front of us or run away from it. And by just doing the rounds of tapping, it can calm down, bring the blood back up to the brain, where we need to be able to think of good solutions and have our creativity to help us get find us a solution that can work for us.
that's great.
Yes. So just a little bit about how it works. So when we have negative emotions, they're caused by disruptions in our body's energy system. So whilst we are tapping on those negative emotions, we can restore the body's energy balance. It can bring us our energy back into balance again. And this relieves any emotional or physical distress that we might be feeling in the moment. We have the tapping the points on our body. And so it's just some of the points, just to give you an idea. We have here at the eyebrow, on the side of the eye, under the nose, in our chin point, here on our chest, under our arm, and then on top of the head. And we always start any tapping rounds that we do with tapping just here on the karate chop, we call it, which is just underneath our little pinky finger, where we would set up the issue for our body to understand it. So what we do, how the steps for tapping is, we always have to tune into what our thoughts are, what are bothering us. And, I have a wonderful worksheet, which I give my clients and people that I'm working with some brilliant questions on it to really help people tune into what is distressing them. Then we craft a setup statement, which is here on the karate chop point. And the setup statement is made up of two different parts. So the first part we would say, even though I have this problem or this issue, and then we want to really put in something positive. And we can say, I love and accept myself. And I know sometimes when we have been victims of abuse, it's very difficult to love ourselves. But we can just say something as easy as, and I just want to feel better. And I'm open to feeling a little calmer right now. Then we would choose our, what we call our reminder face, which we will say as we tap on each point. So if your issue is that you're very anxious about something, you could just say all this anxiety, 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 and you can just use that emotion as you're going around your tapping points, and that will help calm it down. Before we start tapping, we want to rate that emotion. So we say on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the most intense that I'm feeling this, and 0, oh, it's not really a problem in my life. How much do I feel this? And then we go through our tapping points, we do a couple of rounds, and then we're going to check in and see what is the intensity now. If it was at an 8, is it still an 8? Has it maybe gone up to a 10? Or has it gone down to a 2 or a 3? Or maybe it's not moved at all. And that will help and guide us as to how we're going to continue with the tapping. So if it has gone up, we know that the point is actually there's more to the problem than what we originally thought. And it's a little bit worrying us and bothering us a little bit more than we thought. If it goes down, we've released some of that worry and anxiety. And if it stays the same, well, then maybe anxiety is not the emotion, because sometimes emotions hide behind emotions. And it's like an onion, and you have to gently peel off all the layers to get to the core of the matter, to what's really bothering you.
Exactly.
So
it's like deep. It's maybe the trauma is very deep, and sometimes
yes, and
investigate what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. And I would just like to recommend to anybody that is working with trauma. It is a technique that you can use by yourself. But if you are working with trauma, it is always best to work with a practitioner. There are ways we use the tapping to always keep the client safe, to always keep the person feeling that it's safe, because if our subconscious mind thinks we are taking it somewhere where it's not safe, it can be actually really, really upsetting for us. So if you're new to tapping and really want to work on the inner child, really want to clear out some of the things that happened in your past, I do recommend that you don't just jump into this on your own, that you find a practitioner and you work with somebody who can guide you through the steps.
I can help them in that step of peeling that onion and going behind the scenes and checking out what's really going on with the trigger events and the method I use. So I can use, we can do that together, and then the tapping with Nicole. So we can both work together and help them in the trauma recovery.
Definitely. That would be amazing. And so just some things what the tapping can help you with is that it calms your anxieties and worries. It can improve your emotional well-being. It can actually give you relief from any physical pain that you might be feeling in your body. It can help you be more confident. It can build up your self-esteem for you. It enhances our performance ability. So if we need to do well on a test or in a job interview, it can really help us perform well during that interview and show the person our best selves. It lowers our stress levels and can help us improve our relationships.
Exactly. So there are many benefits of this practice as well as the one I am providing also, that is more deep and spiritual behind and check out what's really going on and helping them face the pains, but also Nicole will help you relieve these pains that are happening. So both practices combined together, we cannot use only one. We need a combination of this because we need our viewers to understand that to face your pains and fears is really difficult. It is. We're not saying that it isn't. It is difficult, but we're here to guide you and help you and support you in this journey that, of healing.
That's right.
So Nicole, and do you want to say anything else, or shall we say our message to our viewers and close this?
I think it's time for our messages.
Okay, let's do the messages. So, unresolved trauma can be healed and change is possible. And I'm here, Nicole is here to help support and guide you to change your perception, mindset, beliefs about yourselves, recognize the old and shift it. And dare to be free and at peace. Dare to be courageous and let go of what hurt you. It's time to move forward and live life to the fullest, the life you were destined to live, your greatness. And Nicole, please share yours.
I really want to get across to our viewers tonight, Elena, that the power to change their lives, the power to heal themselves is within each and every one of us. That power is within us. There is no magic fairy going to come and sprinkle dust and give us a new life. But we are our magic fairy and we can sprinkle our dust and we can really go in and heal ourselves using all of your wonderful ways and methods, which are really so powerful. And using a technique, having this tool in your pocket as well as EFT that can really help the healing process and for you to discover your inner power. Because you have it within you to change and to heal.
Exactly. And so that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining me, Nicole. Thank you to our viewers for watching us. See you in our next edition next week, talking about trigger events and how we overcome them. And feel free to subscribe to my channel and see you soon. Goodbye, Nicole.
Bye, Elena. Bye.